I know I did a video on this game not too long ago, but I wanted to do another one because I was looking for the actual physical rules, and I wanted to see if I can find it because we were going to do a live play of it, and I wanted to, you know, because I have thousands of cards of it, but I wanted to make sure that we did it right. And I just happened to run into a couple of sealed boosters for, it was 20 bucks for 3. I'm holding 2 right now. These are sealed. And The Last Crusade is probably one of the best World War II card games I've ever played. It was a collectible card game, and it was a great one at that. So let's go down to the table and check it. So I'm going to do my best to try to explain this as best as I can, but we're going to actually open this up, right? Now, you could find these on the internet for about 20 bucks. They were originally 9 bucks in the 90s. Yeah, if we can open this up. This hasn't been opened up in 30 years. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to do the old, hold on here. Yeah, that's right. I put it in my mouth and bit it. But finding this was a rarity and a beauty at that. So we're going to open this up, and it's kind of cool because it's the first time this is open in 30 years. So this is what you'll get with a starting deck, as you can see. You're going to need extra stuff. You're going to need a lot of beads, okay, because you're going to want to mark damage, and you're going to need a ton of dice. So, I mean, if we're board gamers, we should have a ton of dice available to us at all times. So, there we go. So, if you have your dice, you're off to a pretty good start. It's going to come with your setup card, your rules reference card, which is going to help you out, which is always good. And then you are going to have the rules. Now, these are the old rules where they fit everything into a pamphlet. And it looks like there's a ton of reading, but really it's pretty easy, and it really is an easy and fantastic game to play. It gives you a setup and shows you how to do everything, explains everything, and just having this is glorious because it gives you everything. The way this works, it's going to come with 2 different decks. Okay, you're going to have the Americans here, okay, and then you are going to have the Germans. And the way you start each game is pretty explain all the decks, but you're going to start with 27 points, supply points for the Germans, and 21 supply points for the Americans. You're going to take your land cards, and you're going to have a whole bunch of different land cards, especially if you get boosters and stuff like that. And what you're going to do is shuffle up a bunch, and then you're going to draw 3 at random. Okay, and then the Germans are going to draw 3 at random. And that means that you'll have 3 in the middle that won't matter. So for all intents and purposes, we'll put those there. When you turn these over, you're going to have to pay these costs out of your thing. So as you can see, I have hills. That's going to cost me 3 from the number up in the corner here, and over here that's another 3. So if I'm the Americans, I'm really getting hit hard right off the bat. Okay, the 3 in the middle are never going to cost, and you can see you can run into some stuff that it can be quite costly, such as a city, which costs you 7. So that can really hurt you. But also, the more expensive the land, the harder that it's going to be to try to hit you in that, or the more defense systems you're going to have. The Germans would have to pay theirs. That's 6. That's 9. So they would take 9 off, so they would be left with 18 points. You would then shuffle your cards, and you would deal yourself 7 cards. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, secretly, you would pay for these. You would have a hand of these cards, and you would pay for what you want to bring out. This would cost 3. This would cost 1. This would cost 1. All these special cards, some of them have cost on them, and then some of them don't have cost that you could play at any certain time. You can play -1 to supply cost. You could play that card and then buy something for less. So supply becomes a big deal here, because as the turns go, you'll roll for initiative. the Americans now, who had the smaller amount of supply, get 3 dice. The Germans get 2 on their turn. Well, that would be good to get 12. And then here they would have 12 as well. So it would be even. But eventually the Germans run out of supply. But they have to get their stuff and blitzkrieg. Remember, blitzkrieg. Everything has to be quick with the Germans, where if the Americans can hold off, they're going to be all right. You are going to, for instance, you are going to take some of your units, you're going to pay for them, and then you're going to be moving them. You can do this to commit them to an area, or you can have them going in between these areas. You're also going to have airfields and airplanes that are going to fly outside of this and cause bombardments and stuff like this. If ever somebody's able to get to the other side and destroy everything that is in your headquarters, because you'll have cards that you'll pay for that'll be in your headquarters, not necessarily face up, but if they're able to get discovered and reconned, then what's going to happen is they are going to be discovered. You'll have a chance to destroy them, of course. You can only put units down, of course, along in your headquarters. And you always draw up to 7 cards, and you can discard. Now, the way combat works, just to give you a quick overview, and again, I'm not giving you all the rules because we plan on doing a playthrough. If ever something has been recon and you decide to attack something, for instance, and let's see if we could just find something here. Well, here we go. We have let's go with something here, folks. Okay, we have an M4, and it has a certain number. For instance, if you are attacking here and saying, well, I'm going to attack here in the light woods, there would be plus and minuses to that. But if we are attacking armor, we would get 4 dice. And on 5s, we would hit. It's as simple as that, folks. So you would roll your dice, well, 2 hits. Awesome. So even if there were modifiers, there's a chance that you would hit that. That would do 2 damage there, so we would actually do 2 damage. On the next turn, he would attack back. Okay, and you say, well, you know something, I'm going to attack back on you, and I'm going to make sure I get you. Well, guess what? He got 2 hits as well. So we would mark 2 hits. And you would go by the defense number here. That's how many hits you can take. All right, so he could take the Panzer MK4 can take 4 hits. The M4 can take 5 hits. With its 105, and nice beautiful pictures, and you know, combat's pretty simple. So you know, this is even better against infantry, where the Panzer is just kind of really good against everything. You have an air value. Of course, the Panzer is no good against air, but the M4 does get 1 die against an airplane. So you would just continue to battle, try to get your infantry, try to get people dug into certain areas, so when they come by, you would be able to hammer them. They're of course going to try to drive you out of areas. The terrain plays a big part, bombardments, and all kinds of different things, from swamps to hills, as you can see, city, terrain. All this stuff plays into what is a fantastic battle with a fantastic reference card that tells you exactly what you need to do. You're going to place your terrain, assemble your forces. You're going to draw cards, 7 per player. You're going to roll for initiative. Then you do your first supply roll, whoever got first play. You're going to do whatever reinforcements you're going to pay for. You can uncommit things from certain areas and move them. Your air actions, if you have aircraft, you're going to launch them. Also, those aircrafts can perform recon, and they'll have a value on them that you can check. Bombardment, if you have any artillery, there's places that you can bombardment. Then you are going to move and fire, or fire and maneuver in any order. So, and then there's certain things that you're going to pay costs for. To fire things, to assault, you're going to have to pay resources. To perform an assault, and you got to make sure that you use your resources well, because if you run out, it could cost you, and you run out of gas, and then you're going to get overrun, folks. And that's pretty much how the Last Crusade works. So I suggest you go get one of these really cool starters if you can find them on eBay. I saw a ton of them. They're very affordable. This is a game that you will absolutely fall in love with. And I'm telling you, if you are a fan of World War II the way I am, and you want something that is easy to learn, a lot of fun, with a ton of replayability, this is the one for you, folks. An old game from a long, long time ago. This was actually put out by Pinnacle. Back in the 1995, as a matter of fact. Yeah, Pinnacle Entertainment. I was right. So this is almost 30 years old, and still got a sealed deck. I think I'm going to keep this one just for posterity's sake. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's head on top and get my final thoughts. One of my all-time favorite games. It's in my top 50. It's a game that I absolutely love. The cards, the art, you know, the old schoolness, the chucking of dice. There's a lot of dice chucking in this, folks. This is just an all-time great. And I really suggest it for those of you that enjoy playing. If you have somebody to play with and you can't do it solo, even though I wish you could. Well, you could if you, but the hidden movement would mess you up. It is just one of those games that's just plain old special. Means a lot to me, and I wanted to share with you guys, you know, this experience, because I just honestly, it is one of my all-time favorite games, and I mean, how can you go wrong? You can find it out there cheap. You only need the starter deck to play. But if you want to find the boosters and stuff like that, there are people that sell them high price and low price. Either way, you can get your hands on this and you won't be disappointed. The Last Crusade, probably one of the best World War II card games I've ever played. Check it out. Find it on eBay or go to Noble Knights. Those guys are pretty cool. They got a lot of cool stuff. Check it out. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.